A man decides he's finally going to get in shape. He buys new running shoes, downloads the workout app, cleans out the pantry, sets an ambitious goal to lose 30 pounds before the end of the year. The first week goes great. The second week is a little harder. And by the third week, life gets busy. One missed workout turns into 3. A late night pizza doesn't seem like a big deal anymore. Before long, the gym membership is still active, but the routine has quietly disappeared. Now imagine another person. He also starts going to the gym, but something shifts almost immediately. He doesn't spend much time thinking about the number on the scale. Instead, he begins thinking about himself differently. I'm someone who takes care of my body. That one sentence changes dozens of little decisions. He orders differently at restaurants. He goes to bed earlier. He starts enjoying the workouts instead of simply enduring them. Missing the gym feels strange because it no longer matches who he believes he is. The habits didn't create the identity. The identity began to shape the habits. I think the same thing happens with money. Financially healthy people don't simply make better financial decisions. They begin seeing themselves differently. Saving, giving, avoiding debt, and investing aren't isolated acts of discipline. They're simply what financially healthy people do. Today we're talking about why your financial future may have less to do with finding the perfect budget and more to do with becoming the kind of person who naturally makes wise financial decisions. Welcome to Plan to Prosper, where we exist to honor God by helping faithful servants steward their finances wisely and build wealth that endures for generations. Okay, Logan, here we are for another episode.
Here we are.
And I'm excited for today's episode. We're going to talk about becoming a financially healthy person.
In that cold open, you didn't make it sound a whole lot of fun. Going to bed earlier, watching what you order.
I don't know, man. This has been this. I'll just peek behind the curtain a little bit. This has sort of been me for the past month. We had a baby earlier this year, so I really let the gym habit fall by the wayside. And so enough was enough. Earlier this summer, I decided, okay, I can't use the baby as an excuse anymore. I just can't go. I just had a baby. I'm getting back in the gym, and it's amazing. The simple shift in mindset when it's just specifically when it comes ordering at a restaurant, because if I worked out that morning, I don't want to waste that workout and just eat garbage. I want to, and the nice thing is you don't have to. Protein is delicious, and you can eat some really healthy foods that's also really delicious.
If I work out or go for a run, I'm like, oh, now I can order badly because
interesting.
I used up all that.
So you need this
energy.
episode, I think we need to, because it's so easy. This all started, the idea behind this episode was I saw this little video on YouTube of the effort paradox is what he called it. And he used the example of having an early morning flight. We've all had this experience where you've got an early morning flight. So the night before, you're like, I need to get a good night's sleep.
You got to Uber at 3 a.m.
Right. But you are so stressed or anxious about making sure you don't oversleep in the morning that you actually have a harder time getting to sleep at night.
And staying asleep.
Yeah. So you're just thinking about, that alarm's going off at 3 a.m. I can't miss it. I've got to get this flight.
Then I wake up at 12:30 and 1:30.
Right. Whereas if you just pretended to be asleep and you didn't stress about it, you just pretended like you were asleep, you will eventually fall asleep. And the same is true. He then kind of connected that to fitness. And he says, if you just I'm going to lose weight, so I'm going to get in the gym, that motivation wears off fairly quickly. But if you just say, I actually already am a healthy person, and therefore my decisions are going to become easier. I'm going to go for a walk instead of sit on the couch and watch TV. There's just natural things. And we're going to talk about that today. And I think the Christian life kind of speaks to this as well, pretty strongly.
I can see that vein popping through your bicep.
Oh yeah. I'm not trying to show these off today or anything. It's funny because I'm obviously not the biggest, strongest guy in the world. But I do like going and trying to get stronger. I want to be around for my kids for a long time. So I'm early. It's very early in the process, but I would like to, build a little bit of strength here.
Did you go this morning?
No.
Ooh.
It was a late night for whatever reason. I went yesterday. It's been a weird week because we were at the shore this weekend. So I had been going pretty hard before we went on a small little mini weekend vacation. So part of this week was I'm kind of in a recovery mode. I'm not as eager to go as hard at the gym this week, one week in particular, but I'll be back at it next week for sure.
I showed my kids Star Wars last night. So
Oh, yeah?
there were some nightmares. So the sleep wasn't awesome either.
So yeah, you didn't go to the gym either. Totally respect that. Okay. I think first things first, setting the stage with the Christian pattern will maybe make a lot of sense for anybody that is listening that has been a Christian for any length of time. What is the order of when it comes to just the two basic justification and sanctification? What happens first?
You're justified first.
That's right.
And then slowly, I mean, I guess there can be different speeds for different people, but
Yeah.
gradual sanctification.
For those that maybe haven't heard those terms, can you define justification and sanctification?
I mean, justification is being justified by Christ, in Christ. So we're now saved. Sanctification is becoming more like Christ over time.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah. Yeah, justification is kind of like a judicial term. It's like you're declared righteous. Like the judge doesn't only say that you're not guilty. Like he's like, you're actually righteous. Even though you show up to the courtroom quite guilty.
Guilty as sin.
Guilty as sin. And then the judge, the great judge, through Christ, declares you not guilty. And
innocent.
yeah. And so justification, so right off the bat, you become a Christian, boom, you're as holy as Christ was. Judicially, like the way that God views you, he views you like he views his own son, Christ. Because that's what happens. You exchange your righteousnesses. You exchange righteousness. Christ takes on your sin. You take on his righteousness. But in actuality, you're still pretty sinful, especially on day one. Like you just got saved. Maybe you're, I don't know what your lifestyle was like before, but maybe you're at rock bottom and you're just like in the depths of sin. So you're actually quite sinful, but you're declared holy.
And you got to figure it out. Like, what does God want me to do?
Sure. But as you begin to get discipled, you attend church, this lower level, this practical holiness, slowly starts to move its way up. You'll probably never reach that perfect sinlessness. Actually, you won't until you reach eternity. But you'll always be declared that. If you're truly in Christ, you are always perfectly holy because of your justification.
Right.
But we want that sanctification to start getting a little bit closer in actuality.
Yeah.
Paul says, are we to continue in sin that grace may abound? And the answer is no. So you can't just be like, hey, I've been declared righteous, so I'm just going to stay down here. Romans 6 says that we're dead to sin and alive in Christ. Ephesians 4, Paul says that we should walk in a manner worthy of the calling. There are other verses that kind of, you are called to actually be holy.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. And so it is, we're kind of getting into like our identity.
Yeah.
Then.
Exactly.
Being in Christ.
Yeah. Yeah. God doesn't say, be holy, so I'll accept you. He says, I accept you. Now be holy.
Yeah. And because we identify with Christ, and it's not due to anything we've done, now we've got to act in certain ways.
Yeah. Exactly. You're right off the bat. It's like, you are mine. Now act like it.
Yeah.
It's not the other way around. We are declared righteous, and then we start to actually act righteous.
Right.
And I think that because of that identity, like that actually that helps us in our pursuit of actual holiness, for the reasons we've already kind of discussed, is that it would be hard if it's just like, okay, I know that I need to earn God's favor, so let me try my hardest. And eventually you'll just, people backslide, people hit, like the motivation wears off, and it's like, man, I literally can't do this. I can't live up to the law. And scripture says that. Like we have no ability to actually do that in any real sense. Even the people that do it perfectly, like the Pharisees, you think about, and I say do perfectly in kind of scare quotes, the Bible talks about good deeds being like filthy rags before God. Like if that's what you're trying to do, if you're just trying to earn God's favor, he sees that as like, that's disgusting. Like that it means nothing to me. Whereas if we accept the reality that we are declared righteous in Christ, and then we strive in the power of the Holy Spirit to become increasingly holy, God delights in that.
Yeah, the filthy rags is actually grosser than that, but the listener can look into that on their own.
Yeah. Anyway, most translations use that term.
Yeah, but it means something worse.
Oh, I know. Yeah. So that's kind of like the Christian pattern for what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to apply this to our finances, but the idea is identity comes before the behavior.
Yeah.
So before we get to the money thing, let's quickly apply it to some other areas. We already talked about fitness. I think a better way if you're trying to get in shape is not to go, I really want to lose this X amount of pounds. I'm just a healthy person. Mm-hmm. You might not be actually, but if you start to think that way, it'll make it easier to stay in the habit of it. Because you don't want to reach, even achieve the goal. And most people probably don't achieve the goal when they just set it. Most people. But even if you do achieve it, well, what happens after that? Do you just go, oh, I did it? I'm just going to go back to what I was before. Yeah. So instead, you want to change your entire person, and you just go, I am a healthy person, and I will be forever. Kind of. That's how I like to think about it.
You won't forever, but
yeah, true. What are some other ways identity precedes the actions?
If you're a parent, you can think of yourself as just being a present parent.
Yeah.
Instead of really trying hard to, I've got to make sure I don't do this or don't do this. Just I'm a present parent, and then I think that probably leads to actions and attitude changes. Like maybe I should leave my cell phone in the bedroom until the kids go to bed, or leave all my work stuff in the bag until the kids go to bed. Things like that.
Yep. Marriage, same way. Like instead of being like I need to be. I am trying not to mess up right now. You just go, no, I'm just a faithful husband who does what faithful husbands do. I show up every day for my wife. I think you could also just look at the flip side of this too. Like somebody who can never, if you're just constantly being told, whether it's just yourself telling you this or maybe other people that like, why can't you do anything right? I think sometimes parents say this to kids, and I think that's dangerous when you just go, why can't you be more like your older brother? Can you do anything right? If you like in a moment of frustration, say that to your kid, well, they might actually start to believe that, and it's going to make things worse for them. They will actually continue to behave worse because they believe I cannot get anything right. That's what I've been told my whole life.
Yeah, I actually saw that relatively recently, and it was a 16-year-old boy and his dad, and the dad was just screaming at him, "Why can't you do anything right?" And it was uncomfortable, and like seeing the kid was just.
Yeah, I saw this other video recently that spoke to this idea as well, where there was this experiment done on, I guess it was a classroom full of kids. That sounds bad, like they were running experiments on kids, but it's a little more innocent than that.
Okay.
They all got a word scrambler puzzle. Each
like to find the circle the word.
They're given 3 words. Each kid was given 3 words at the top of a piece of paper, and they had to come up with as many unscrambled words as possible with those 3 words. Half the class, 2 of their word scrambles were really, really easy. Okay. And then the third one was a little bit more challenging. Whereas the other half of the class got 2 impossible ones where there was literally no solutions to it. You couldn't come up with anything. And then that same third more challenging one. So all students had the exact same third column, but half the class got 2 easy ones to start with, and the other half got 2 impossible ones to start with. So the impossible group they were trying their best to come up with solutions to these first 2, and they have nothing. So they didn't even try with the third one because they assumed it was the same thing. They assumed there would be nothing there. So half the class didn't get anything, any answers correct, even though the third one was solvable. The other half, they all were just knocking it out of the park with those easy ones, so that by the time they got to the third column, they started seeing some of the words that were available there, even if it was a little more challenging. And the other half got a lot of that third column, whereas the half that didn't get any. And so the idea is kind of like your belief about yourself impacts the way that you would handle challenges and tasks in the world. And the class, the half that just believed they couldn't do it, didn't even try.
Maybe that's why the LinkedIn games get progressively harder.
Yeah, maybe.
Every morning I'm like, I crushed it yesterday. Now I can crush it again today.
Yeah, that's good. That's belief and mindset go a long way.
Yeah.
And I actually mean this seriously. I think it's critical, not in a worldly like you just got to believe in yourself, but like actually think about the way God thinks about you, and think about who you are in Christ, and that should change the way that you behave kind of across the board. I
also think you can think of people that you think do this really well as well.
Yeah.
And kind of think like sometimes there are some people that I respect a lot that I know they read a ton, things like that. And I'll think, it's 9:00. I can keep watching this silly show I'm watching, or I can go upstairs and read a little bit.
Yeah. The old what would Jesus do? WWJD bracelets that everybody used to wear. I don't see those too often anymore.
Yeah, I feel like that was like late 90s.
Yeah. I think they got some heat for that, because it's like, it's not just about behavior. But I actually think in this conversation, that is a helpful thing. What would Jesus do? Or when I was a kid and I would have to get like a shot at the doctor or something, or like I would go to the dentist and I would have to get some like cavities filled or something.
Somebody wasn't brushing their teeth well.
I know. Actually, I was a good brusher, but for whatever reason, I was really prone to cavities. Anyway, I didn't like the pain because it was an uncomfortable. Nobody likes going to the dentist. Nobody likes getting shots. But I would think about Batman, and I would go, how would he handle this situation? How would he handle this pain right now? And that helped quite a bit, honestly, because I would just sit there and be like, man, I'm just going to be Batman for the next 30 minutes while I get my teeth drilled.
Wow. Whatever works.
Yeah. I mean,
did you get like a sweet treat afterwards or something? Well, I guess you just got your teeth drilled, so you wouldn't want anything.
I remember getting, my mom would take me to Wawa. Like if I would be pulled out of school to go to the dentist, my mom would take me to Wawa afterwards for lunch before putting me back in school. And my face would still be numb from whatever I just had from the dentist. And I would get a hot dog at Wawa. And I just remember eating a hot dog with a half numb face. And it's a weird feeling, but it's a core memory.
Wow. That's an interesting one. Makes you wonder what your kids are going to remember.
I don't know. Yeah, exactly. All right. Any other examples of where identity preceding action before we move on
I don't think so.
To finance?
We've did pretty well.
All right. So let's talk about the financially healthy person and how to become the person that builds wealth. I think, go ahead.
Well, I mean, I was just going to, from the same mindset of not just like, let me try really hard and watch that bank account and see what happens.
Yeah.
It's just having a mindset of things like I'm a good steward, or I'm just a good worker, or I will build well for the correct reasons, things like that.
Exactly. Yeah. We're not setting these like specific goals of like, I just want my bank account to reach this dollar and then I'm going to be good to go. It's just
because you're never good to go.
Yeah.
Like I feel like you get there and then it's like, oh, I want
a little more. Yeah. So we're just trying to create this sense of this is who I am as a person. I make the right decisions because I'm a financially healthy person, because I'm a good steward of what God's given me, because I'm trying to honor the Lord with the wealth that he's given me. That should change the way that we behave every single day for the rest of our lives. Like that is the goal here, is to just begin the habits that are what financially healthy people do. Yeah,
because in the same manner you can backslide. So like if you set a goal of, let me just hit $1 million or whatever. You hit $1 million, the backslide could be, oh, well, now I have carte blanche to just go hit the slot machines as much as I want. That $1 million is going to go pretty quick.
Yeah. So let's talk about what are some of the traits of a financially healthy person, of a good steward.
Things like saving consistently, maybe even making that automatic, investing kind of systematically, or just being patient, not thinking, not pressing the buy button and then 3 minutes later thinking, oh, did my investment double?
Yeah.
Somebody who is a cheerful giver, gives generously. What else?
I would say somebody that lives below their means and avoids unnecessary debt. Like they're just not racking up credit cards because they want to buy that cool new thing. I think a lifelong learner, financially healthy people are naturally curious and always want to learn more. They're never satisfied with where they are with their own education and their own personal growth.
Mm-hmm. Somebody who plans well.
Yeah.
So I think you can do some of these things well, but have no idea where you're going. I think a financially healthy person sees where they're going and is planning for where they're going.
Yeah. We did a whole episode on delayed gratification a little while ago. I think somebody that is really in the habit of that kind of a thing, where they're just not seeking constant dopamine, but they're able to plan ahead, as you just mentioned, plan ahead for the things that they want and are okay waiting for that nice vacation. I'm not gonna go into debt to go on this vacation right now, even though I really want to do it. I'm okay to wait, and I'm going to plan for it. And I'm going to do it 5 years from now because I know it's going to be worth it when I do it then.
I skipped that one because I like the buy now button.
Yeah. I ran this real quick. I want to throw this at you. What are the top 5 leisure and relaxation habits of millionaires? So we talked about some financial habits here, but I also think that, like, what do you do when you're not making financial decisions? What are the things that you do? And I was curious, what does the average millionaire in America, how do they spend their leisure time? And so I have the top 5 that I want you to try to uncover.
The beach.
It not that specifically. There's
travel.
Appropriate travel was one of them. Like not these like lavish vacations apparently, but like they take vacations for actual rejuvenating rest.
Okay. Golf.
No. I mean,
sports.
Yes, active exercise of some kind. So they're runners or they play sports or things like that.
The spa.
No.
No, like massages, nothing like that.
Not on the top 5 at least.
Just family time?
Not exactly. That's not. At least that wasn't on this list. That does make sense. But there was like networking and socializing would have been number 4 on the list, where you're not just.
Would that include like parties?
Sure. Yeah. Like you're prioritizing your social life above television.
Okay. Can you repeat the category one more time?
So it's like the top 5 leisure and relaxation habits of millionaires.
Read.
Yes, that's number 1. But reading for growth, actually, not just like reading for entertainment. Reading improvement books, kind of thing, would be number 1. So you got number 1. Number 2 is exercise. Number 4 is networking and socializing. Number 5 is actually you said like travel. That's actually, it was kind of rest and relaxation in the form of sleep and also like a rejuvenating vacation. So those were kind of lumped in together as number 5. So a good night's sleep is number 5. So you're missing just number 3.
Man, there's one more. Go for a drive.
No, volunteering and community service.
Okay.
So they like to give back. I don't know what kind of millionaires these polled. I'm sure there are millionaires that spend their leisure time doing more nefarious things than that. But those all seemed like pretty healthy things to be pursuing if you're a wealthy person. These are the things that you would be doing in your downtime. So
I wonder if it was the cutoff like $1 million net worth?
I don't know.
I just wonder if it changes if it's like $10 million or anything
maybe.
like that.
Yeah, we'll look that up sometime.
One day.
All right. So that's what a financially healthy person does. They make all those financial habits, but those top 5 leisure and relaxation, that's helpful to know too. Like maybe don't just watch TV every night. Maybe pick up a book every once in a while.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. We talked about this a little bit already, but the idea of goal setting, that's fine. We're not anti-goal at all here. But what we're trying to get at today is that your identity is a better thing to shape your habits, not a specific goal.
Because I think sometimes the goals can almost become like idols too.
Yeah, maybe.
Again, to use like the net worth or bank statement or whatever, like I've got to hit $1 million.
Right.
Like you can almost idolize that.
Yeah. In a perfect world, a good goal should set you up to maintain these habits beyond achieving the goal.
Yeah.
So again, let's just use the fitness thing again. If your goal is to lose 30 pounds, you should be so consistent with that discipline of going to the gym, whatever exercise you're doing, that once you hit the 30-pound weight loss, you just keep going. Not to lose another 30 pounds, but you just go, this feels great, I love it, and I don't want to stop feeling this way. As opposed to, I hit the 30 pounds, sweet, goal accomplished, I'm done. We want our systems to maintain once we, even if you set a goal, and I think goals are fine. I think it's okay to set financial goals. I do want to hit an X amount of my portfolio by the end of next year. Good. You strive for that, but don't stop there, and make sure that the good habits continue beyond that.
Have you ever read Atomic Habits?
No.
He talks about one guy who set the goal of becoming healthier by going to the gym. And it was funny the way he did it, and like the progressiveness of just doing it more and more. It was like the guy, the first day, I think just drove to the parking lot of the gym, didn't even get out of his car, but then went to work. And then the second day he like got out of his car, went into the gym for like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And then the next day it was like 4 minutes, and he just kept progressing until he was like going to the gym every day for an hour.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. When I first started lifting, that was my goal, was just like, I don't actually care about my exercise all that much. I just want to get in the habit of like, this is what I do every day. I go to the gym and I do something. I'll figure out a good routine later. As long as I enjoy it enough now, that's all I actually really care about. And I think there's something to that.
Yeah, and you can probably apply, I mean, you can definitely apply it to other things. You could probably, if you're not saving at all, just try $1.
Yeah.
And then
legitimately
in a week, try $2.
Yeah.
And then in another week, try $4.
Yep. You know, if you rewind the clocks 10 years, I'm a big Eagles fan, and I wanted the Eagles to win the Super Bowl more than almost anything in my life. And they did
about 10 years ago, right?
They did it.
Yeah.
You know, they finally won one in 2017, and it was awesome. But I didn't expect them to just like shut the franchise down after they won the Super Bowl. I expected them to go for it again. And then they did it again a couple years ago. So, and here we are now. They've now won 2. I don't expect them like, wow, we doubled what we originally wanted to do. We just wanted to win 1, and now we have 2 of them. So that's good enough for us. No, you got to keep going. You got to keep trying to do it every single year. The fans expect that. So same thing. You reach your goal. You don't just shut it down. The fans want more.
There were some bumps between the first 2, though.
Oh, yeah. There's always drama around this team.
Yeah.
But, hey, I'll take 2 Super Bowls in 10 years. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think the point is like, goals have finish lines, but your identity doesn't. Your identity is going to just maintain itself throughout the rest of your life. Your goals, they'll come and go. So let's make sure that we have the identity locked in. And when we do set goals, again, which is fine, let's make sure that they're undergirded by a good identity.
And I think it's important not to get too much into goal setting, but to have trackable goals just to make sure that you're continually making progress.
Yeah, SMART goals, as they like to call it. Do you remember what the SMART goals are?
M is measurable.
S is specific.
Okay.
M is measurable.
T is time.
T is,
I think
it's time based.
Time-based,
yeah, like it has a specific end. Like you want to do it by X day.
R is reachable.
Well, hold on. We didn't do A yet.
Well, I'm just thinking of the ones that I think
Specific,
I know.
measurable, attainable. So like
okay,
it's
so
realistic.
R is not reachable. Okay.
R is
Realistic.
realistic. That seems similar to attainable, but I do think it's realistic. Maybe we have that wrong.
We didn't discuss this
No, we
beforehand.
didn't. I just threw this out. And then T is time-based, and that's it.
Yeah.
So that's to set a good goal. It should meet each of those criteria. You can look that up on your own. That's not our thing.
I think we're mostly there.
Somebody came up with that, and I think it's a helpful framework.
Yeah.
But I think a SMART goal should be layered on top of an existing identity.
Right.
All right. When you do these things, when you set a good identity, the tiny decisions become a little bit easier. It's a little bit easier to say no to the lavish expense that you maybe used to spend money on. It's like, I really don't need that. It becomes a little bit easier I'm going to put more money in my savings account today. You mentioned like just imagining what a financially healthy person that you can think of, like you're a friend or somebody that you know that's financially healthy. Like, what would they do in this moment? I was actually thinking about this when it comes to like the tiny decisions we make. I know we like to potentially. We poke fun at him a little bit here on the podcast, but I like to think about Dave Ramsey, like with his arms crossed, like looking over my shoulder when I'm like potentially making a purchase online or out in the real world. Like, what would he think of what I just did?
Put that credit card back in the wallet.
That's right. So just think about Dave Ramsey's grumpy face. If you've ever listened to his show, like people call in and they'll tell them their situation, and he will like straight up yell at people.
Stop being stupid.
It's quite amusing, yeah. And so, would I get that reaction from Dave when I tell him what I just did, or would he be like, "Good job,"
Yeah, good impersonation.
We got to get that debt snowball going. I'm not an impressionist, but Dave Ramsey's he's a fun guy. His show is actually quite entertaining.
I don't listen to it a ton. He's definitely Debt Snowball though, right?
He's
he
the
would
Debt
not,
Snowball guy.
He would not be for Debt Avalanche.
I mean, I'm sure he's fine with any kind of debt payoff strategy, but he loves the debt snowball.
He's pretty opinionated.
Well, his thing is because he's helping people. And I get it. The psychological aspect of a debt snowball is more appealing than the debt avalanches, even if it's a little bit. And he's trying to help people with the psychology of money, I think. Anyway, all right. So would Dave Ramsey approve of what you're doing? That's my point.
Quick trivia question for you. I didn't look this up. Somebody actually told this to me, so don't blame me if it's wrong. But do you know the number one car that millionaires drive?
I remember this. It's like a Ford F-150 or something.
Well, I was told it was a Honda Accord.
It's a Honda Accord, obviously. Everybody knows that. All right. I don't know who told you that. I don't think that's true, but
a millionaire told me that. A millionaire who drives a Honda Accord told me that.
All right, we're gonna look that one up. Millionaire car.
Fact check me.
Yeah. There's that book that we talked about on the podcast a while ago, The Millionaire Next Door, where they do this whole study. And the whole thing was basically like your average millionaire spends a lot less money than you think. And they're not buying lavish vacations or big cars. They're just buying like beater cars and they live in a modest house and all these things. And I think that's probably true again, it's the average millionaire. So people that can actually achieve millionaire status by just being really, really frugal, that definitely happens. But I think that the way that people think it's like that it's the kind of the flip side of it, that there are no millionaires that ever drive anything fancy. Well, that's not true, because you see it all the time. You see people that are driving really fancy cars, and I'm sure some millionaires are in that category.
So the millionaire who told me this has a Honda Accord was telling me that he and his CEO were talking about it, and his CEO was like, "Oh, I also have a Honda Accord." And so both millionaires with Honda Accords. But then this guy was telling me, I happen to know my CEO also has a Chevy Corvette in the garage.
Yeah.
So he's got the Accord, but he's also got the nice car.
Exactly. All right. I think we've all familiar with the phrase "fake it till you make it," and we're not exactly talking about that, though. I think that can apply a little bit here, because like that's kind of like we're not just pretending to be something that we're not actually. But in some ways we kind of are. Like what we're trying to do is achieve the identity before we achieve the habits. And so there is in some ways a little bit of like fake it. We've all heard that. And I think if you started a new job at any point, you kind of have to like, I don't really know what's going on here. So I'm going to act like I do, kind of a thing.
Is that how you started?
It's exactly how I started. I'm still here, aren't I?
Yeah. So far, so good.
And in a lot of ways, I'm still doing it. Who am I to be on this podcast talking about finance?
I do think if you have the fake it till you make it attitude, though, it's the same kind of thing. If you feel like you've made it, then you can just backslide again.
Yeah. I think it depends on how you kind of think about that phrase. I like the phrase in just kind of a playful way, like fake it till you make it.
Well, even like in our industry, I think you always have the attitude you always need to have the attitude of like, I can keep learning, because there are new things coming out all the time. And I mean, tax law changes all the time. There are different types of securities and things that come out and stuff like that. So you should always continue learning.
Yeah. I think I saw this like bell curve, like confidence tracker thing where like people tend to have very little confidence when they just start something. That makes sense. But then once they start to get just a little bit of progress and they start to actually see like, oh, I'm actually starting to actually understand this, their confidence skyrockets. And then they've been in the thing any length of time, let's just say it's your career, the confidence actually goes back down a little bit and then kind of hovers right around the middle for the rest of the time. So they don't have no confidence, but their confidence is kind of in a realistic spot where it's like, I still have plenty to learn.
Yeah.
I'm not pretending like I'm the absolute expert in this particular area. I have still a long way to go.
I was reading something, I think it was specific to Microsoft Excel, but they were saying that if you rank yourself from 1 to 10, the people who give themselves like 1 to 5 are realistic. Like I don't know much. You get into 6, 7 territory. Those people are usually like actually a 2 or a 3, but they just think, oh, I'm really good at Excel now. 6 or 7.
100%.
But then 8, 9, and 10, they're actually pretty realistic as well. Like they know they're good at Excel. But yeah, that 6, 7 area is like you're actually 2-3.
Yeah, makes sense. So when it comes to applying this to your finances, you know, you can, I think it's okay to even have an unrealistic identity here because it's, you know, there's no harm in thinking I am the most financially healthy person. Now, if you're making terrible decisions, that's just not going to be true.
Yeah.
For most of us, yeah, none of us are the perfectly financially healthy person. We all make mistakes with our finances. The Christian life, we all still sin. Like that is still a reality that exists in all of this. Yet, when our identity is kind of secure and solid, it's going to help us when we do backslide a little bit, when we do fall back, so that we don't turn one bad mistake into 5 bad mistakes. We don't turn one missed workout into 10 missed workouts. We don't turn one bad financial habit into 10 bad. When we have the identity secured, we just get right back up and we just know, okay, yeah, I messed up. I shouldn't have bought that. But now I'm going to get back on the right track now because that's who I am. I am a financially healthy person.
It's like the stock market. It's like, I think it's like sanctification. I think you just want to, there are going to be bumps along the way, but you want to keep kind of the up and to the right.
That's right.
Attitude or actions. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Any other thoughts on becoming a financially healthy person?
I think you can, there were some other kind of practical ways.
Yeah.
So you can say, like, I'm someone who saves first. I actually think it might be more helpful to say, like, you know what? If you're not good at saving, it might be more helpful to say, like, oh, I'm trying to cut down on my spending.
Yeah.
Because then once you do that, you can, then you can start actually practicing the saving.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Any other thoughts?
Yeah, I think you're right. Like just having these like sayings almost that you can like say to yourself. It's kind of like cheesy, but it's just like, I'm a good steward of my resources. I am financially healthy. I do the right things with my money. I honor God with my wealth. When you start to like kind of actually get in the habit of actually saying those things, it would make some of those decisions a little bit easier. And
I also think there's one where it can go kind of either way on practicing being a financially healthy person. Because a lot of times I say if you want to, you'll become more like the people you hang out with, which I think can be true if you're hanging out with financially healthy people.
yeah,
But at the same time, I think the warning is if you're not doing well financially and you're hanging out with people who are financially healthy, but they're also like millionaires.
yeah.
Then you got to make sure you're not going to try to keep up with them.
Yeah, that was the one thing that I was thinking about with this episode is that the danger of like some millionaires will legitimately spend their money on like some nice things. Like, of course, like they will have a nicer house than somebody that's not a millionaire, probably.
Right.
And so what I don't want to encourage is just build those habits. Like, of course not. We're rather build the habits of a financially healthy person, and that means living below your means, and whatever your means are right now. That's kind of what you're limited to.
Right.
You don't have the means of a millionaire. Millionaires are living below their means as well, hopefully. Not all of them, but some of them are. A good amount of them probably are, but they just have more means than we do. So their purchases are going to look a lot different than yours. So
if you want to remain a millionaire, you have to live below your means.
Exactly.
Or that's just going to keep falling.
Right. All right. As we wrap up, let's do a rapid fire. What does a financially healthy person look like? Let's just go back and forth. Quick things. A financially healthy person
Saves.
doesn't trust in their riches.
Gives first.
Yeah. They lay up their treasures in heaven before they lay them up on earth.
They strategize before investing.
They enjoy life responsibly.
They sleep on major purchases that can wait.
Yeah. They're not trying to impress anybody.
They enjoy what they have.
They don't panic when the market dips.
And they know enough is a real number.
Yeah. I think that's good.
Yeah.
So let's make that part of our lives. Let's be the kind of people that live below their means, build the habits that a financially healthy person would build.
Yeah, because it like the gym, it will feel tough at first.
Yeah.
But you'll get used to it.
Yeah, exactly. That's the whole point, is to get used to it. I think that's a great way to say it, is we're trying to build a life that is, this is just what I do. It's not like, oh, I'm like white knuckling to become this. It's like, no, I this is what I do. I'm the kind of person that does that.
Yeah.
Full stop.
Yep.
Good. Well, I think that's all we have.
I agree.
Great.
I concur.
Thanks for listening. Tune in again next week, and God bless.
God bless.
Investment advisory services offered through Stonecrop Wealth Advisors, LLC, a registered investment advisor with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. This material is intended for informational purposes only.